can only go forward, not backwards. Forward on my little presenter is this way, to the right. When you're looking at it, to the right. You get one skip. So if you get to a slide and you're like, I can't do anything with that, you can skip it. All right, but only once. And remember, we're laughing with you, not at you. This session has a tendency to elicit a lot of laughter. This is sort of a lightweight way to end the day. It's a lot of fun. And I guarantee that everyone is going to stumble. But I mean, the skills that we're going to pick up in here, the skills that we're going to exercise, how many times have you been in a business setting where somebody was like, hey, my wife just called, my kid needs to go to the doctor, I have to give my pitch to the executive team, can you take my slides and give it for me? I mean, if you haven't been in a situation like that, you're going to come across something like that in the future. It always happens. And so the skills that we're going to develop here are, how do we think on our feet? How do we adapt to changing circumstances and unknown circumstances? And how do we do it with our peers in a fun, supportive environment? Fun and supportive being the operative words.
Yeah, I think the scenario, a scenario that happens more is like I've never run across where someone's like, present my slides for me, but I've done it, like just last week I did a webinar and the marketing person loaded a slide deck that was, a week old. It had a bunch of old slides that weren't right, so I'm right in the middle of going through it. I get to the slide,
you're like,
and you pause, and I'm like,
adapt.
The sigh, you want to say a bad word, and then you just have to keep going.
You will understand when you see these slides that the point is not to be serious and actually have like content that you would actually present. Although these are all real slides that I pulled off SlideShare. The point is to think on your feet and can you make a story to go with the slides. It's where improv meets presentation. So.
It's individual vignette, it's not the string together.
Yeah, it's individual. We're all going to make our own story. You can choose to continue the person's story in front of you, or you can choose to start something brand new. It's up to you. Since I don't know where this presentation is going to end, I give you my contact information up front. So if you'd like to reach me, here's how you do it. With Pragmatic Marketing, you can also reach me on Twitter or my blog, and I'd love to talk to you if you have any questions. I'll also make sure that this presentation gets to the sessions team so they can put it up online if you ever have a chance to run Powerpoint-Karaoke yourself in the future. You can just randomize these slides. I just pulled them all together, totally randomized them. So with that said, I can't guarantee what's going to appear beyond this point. I think I already talked to Will and drafted him to go first, and then I'll pick y'all to go to get a second.
I'll project. So when I hit right, that's the first one.
When you hit right, that's the first one.
Well, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for coming along today. I know it's been a very long day, and today is, the graveyard shift, as we're all looking forward to drinks after this. My presentation today is talking about how to sound more intelligent than you actually are by using oblique metaphors and analogies, unverifiable facts and references, and a healthy smattering of motherhood and apple pie statements. So I beg your kind indulgence for the next 2.5 minutes while I continue. First of all, the most important thing is sometimes when you're presenting is to have your slides diverge from the actual voiceover that goes with it. This keeps your audience understanding that you are slightly more intelligent than them. Because clearly I understand the reference with what I'm talking about and this slide here. You're still struggling to actually catch up with where my brain is. And that's great, because what I want to do is make it all very clear in your minds that I am in fact more intelligent than you are. Now, let's move into this now. I think one of the most important things to point out, as we all know, 67% of all statistics are made up on the spot. Now you might say, but Will, isn't that just one of those statistics? And I'd say, well, 99% of the time, you'd be right. But in this case, that statistic has been proven by the well-known report by Dr. Hovell T. Moon, written for the Buford Commission, that in fact discovered that it wasn't just 67, it was 67.3% of all statistics are made up on the spot. And as you can see furthermore, I'm a very well-read person. I've obviously read Dr. Hovell T. Moon's report, as I'm sure you all have, otherwise you wouldn't be here. And I encourage you to read more of his work, and indeed more of the work that went along with the Buford Commission as well. That's got a lot to say about this topic of presenting with utmost intelligence. I'd like to conclude that we can't do anything today without talking about the internet, and more importantly, talking about cloud. So I want you to understand that all of this is available to you as a service on demand, buy the drink. And what I want you to keep in mind as you leave this presentation is the importance of vision, collaboration, focus, action, and tactics. Thank you all very much for your time today. One final point when giving any presentation like this is make it absolutely specifically clear with the organisers that there shall be under no circumstances questions. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much. Who's next?
Now, do you have a, how do you know you're getting ready?
Lori BL, and I'm going to talk to you today about bad PowerPoint slides and what not to do on a PowerPoint deck. So, what you don't want to do on a PowerPoint deck is put a giant picture of Sarah Palin. Sarah Palin's a pretty controversial figure. People either love her or they hate her. So chances are, if you're doing a presentation and you're talking to somebody about Sarah Palin, half the audience is going to be pissed off at you and hate you. So that would be one of my first suggestions here, and the obvious thing that's wrong on this particular PowerPoint slide. Moving ahead, second thing to not do on a PowerPoint slide is listing out lists with fill in the blanks that you pull your audience on filling something out. This is kind of shows that you don't really know what you're talking about, and that you're polling your audience and asking them to do your presentation for you because you were too lazy to do the work yourself. So that's what's wrong with this slide, and you know, obviously they've bolded out the 3 things there, and really, did we really need to have that bolded out for us? We're not that stupid. Okay, moving on to the next slide. What's wrong with this slide? Obviously, it's kind of hard to read. And they've mixed the colors together to where it's just not very good. And quite honestly, is your audience really going to read all of this? No. In a PowerPoint presentation, you want to be brief. You want to get to the point. You want to have key statements that really draw your attention and keep you engaged. This is a major snooze fest, and anybody that sees this is just going to zone out. Next slide. Oh, God. Start with this slide. Really, really. I think we've seen enough of this kind of stuff. And this is probably one of the key issues in business today, is everybody likes to throw up graphs and charts. Oh, well, let's make things complicated and show how our products are going to escrow over the next couple of years, and this is our complicated strategy, and another big snooze fest. Really? Anyway, okay. This is one of those just meaningless little symbols that's trying to say, oh, we're one all connected community and we're all one. And
Dead time.
I got it.
Oh, we got it. All right, go.
Okay, I am here today to present to you a case of heart-rending proportions. I am here to defend the unnecessary cruelty to which we subject presenters, and especially those who create thousands of pages of disturbingly detailed PowerPoint slides. There's an acronym for that. And I have removed my shoes in solidarity with these poor schleps. First of all, we have our child. Oh my God. So, this poor designer thought, let's bring this all in. Let's be children. And what are we going to do? What are we going to do? What are we going to look at this slide? What are we going to do to this poor designer? We are going to tell him, that is really creepy. And then we're going to bring in the heartwarmingness. Yes, we bring in smiles. We bring in laughter. And everybody is sitting in the audience thinking, oh, holy crap, when is this person going to be done? And why did she take her shoes off? And why did she bring this really bizarre approach to this whole thing today? And then she's presenting this heartrending case with these people who are smiling. And we have no idea what the fuck they're talking about. By the way, They've also made a very excellent use of statistics. I just want to tell you that this is the one redeeming thing that this person has done, is they have brought you in some very solid statistics. And we've just heard something really beautiful about how important it is to put statistics in your PowerPoint presentation. So therefore, we should give them a break. And finally, in closing, I ask you to bring out your wallets. And we're going to support the new foundation for the people who create thousands of pages of disturbingly detailed PowerPoint slides. And there's an acronym for that. I ask you for your kind support today. Call 555-6729 to pledge today.